Am I the idiot for leaving a Starbucks midway through an intervention about me? So I'm male 21, and I've been kicked out of my friend group. To give some context, I've been in this friend group since high school around 2018 to 2019 and have been friends with 2 of them since freshman year. Throughout the years I've been with them, they've noticed a lot of little toxic traits I've had, and didn't really tell me a lot of them. So around the end of March, beginning of April, they started avoiding me and just telling me that they're too busy to hang out. For 2 weeks things were dead silent with me and them. I actually thought they were just too busy to hang out, but they were actually planning to talk to me about my problems with an intervention. After 2 weeks, they sent me a text saying to meet at this Starbucks with the specific address of it, and at 4. So I asked if we weren't friends, because they were avoiding me, and they only replied with, "We need to talk." So I did, and all of them were sitting at a table in the middle of the Starbucks waiting for me. Once I sat down, they started to list out the problems they've had with me, like not being open enough with my feelings, having double standards with touching things, or zoning out when I'm not in the conversations and not to join them. I'm not going to lie, I did feel uncomfortable talking about issues about me in public. I didn't realize these problems, but after saying them, I really feel like a jerk once seeing it. Now here's where I feel like I would be the idiot in this situation and further. Midway through them talking, I just straight up left because I felt hurt and didn't want to continue that conversation. Right now I'm slowly trying to fix the issue one at a time so new people I meet won't deal with it. Another 2 weeks went by, and I felt terrible about how I was to them in general. One friend that knew the group and my situation, that friend told me that the friend group is still willing to be friends. After feeling bad about myself, I tried to text one of my friends to set up a talk. I asked if it was fine to meet up and talk at his or my place. He replied by saying he would rather talk at Starbucks or coffee places, and I tried to compromise with a park not too far from our places. He didn't like the compromise, saying that he didn't feel safe or comfortable talking to me unless it's somewhere he likes and that it wasn't for negotiation. For me, I told him I didn't feel comfortable to talk in a public space like a coffee shop, and I wouldn't like to be in the same situation as before. Then it got a little emotional for me that I won't go into or repeat. I still wanted to be friends with one other person in the group. So I tried to message them, and he responded by basically saying that, "If you want to apologize, you have to say sorry to everyone in the group. You ended our friendship the moment you left Starbucks." So far that's where my story with my ex-friends is at. Am I the idiot for being the start and end of my situation? Edit 1. When I said touching stuff, it meant grabbing a book off the shelf, borrowing a hammer, etc. without permission. Edit 2. One of the bigger reasons why I posted here was because I don't understand why I'm unsafe to them. I've never physically harmed them, yelled at them angrily, nor attacked them with personal insults. Now for a few comments before the update. I have never in my life heard of a friend intervention where a group sits another friend down to just point out a bunch of flaws. I'm lost. Is this a thing? Not the idiot. Because what the heck? Comment 2. The whole thing sounds kind of like a blind side. I would hardly even call it an intervention. An intervention would be if you were doing something, X drugs, and the people care about you and want you to get better. What they did was gossip behind your back, isolate you, and gang up on you in a place where you were uncomfortable. It would have been better to bring up the things that were bothering them at someone's house or something like that, where you were comfortable to have a discussion, not the idiot. In my opinion. Now for the update. So it's been about a week or so since my post, and I wanted to give some updates and good news. Before that, I wanted to say thanks to all the comments from before. I've felt like poop for the whole month of April, and it helped that there were people telling me I'm not poop. I've listened to a lot of the comments, and most of them just say cut them off and move on, so I am. First thing is that I've sent a link of my post to the friend group to give them my perspective of things. I've understood that I've unintentionally made them feel uncomfortable during times. I don't know if I understand their whole perspective, but thanks to that I know myself a bit more in social situations. They probably moved on from me, but I just wanted to say some sort of goodbye. Now I block them so I can move on and find others that will like me for me. Along with that, I know that I'm gonna have some trust issues and overthink things in the long run. Secondly, I've taken some tests, like the Rhodes test, and scored a 149, so I probably have some neurodiversity. I've gone ahead and scheduled an ADHD assessment, and will be taking it in the next coming week. With this comes the good news for me. I've been hanging out with an online friend who I've known for a long while and actually lives like 15 minutes away from me. Let's call him Bob, and if you're reading this, thanks man. I told Bob my situation with the friend group, and he has helped me emotionally with it without me feeling poop about the situation. During this time, I've made him uncomfortable once by accident with me blurting my mouth. He did let me know how he felt, so I apologized, told him it won't happen again, and I'm working on these things. I also got him an Anime Expo badge and a concert ticket to join me. The AX badge and concert ticket was originally gonna be for the friend who said that he was unsafe with me. I was gonna surprise him with it as an early birthday present before what went down. I know it's a bit soon to give away the stuff, but if I can find anyone soon. Anyways, I'm grateful for the advice you all gave to me. I do understand that there are some things that need to be fixed, some of the things said during the intervention just need to be ignored, and some things that I need to move on from. I'm mainly thankful that you guys helped me understand myself a little more, like my neurodiversity. Also sorry that this is a long post, I just like to talk a lot. But yeah, if anyone has extra questions, I'll try to answer them as best as I can. I hope everyone has a great day and good friendships that never end. Comment 1. Not the idiot. An intervention at a Starbucks? That's not how interventions work. They should have approached you privately and respectfully discussed their concerns. Leaving midway was understandable given the uncomfortable situation. It's good that you're working on self-improvement and finding supportive friends. Move on from the toxic friend group and focus on positive relationships. Comment 2. OP, I gotta say, you handled this one like a champ. My friends in college had a fake-ass intervention for me the day before my 21st birthday. I spent my whole birthday crying. When my friends left my house that day, they stopped being my friends. It took me a while, but I found my people in the end. You'll get there. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for showing favoritism for my daughter and financially hurting my son? My ex-wife, female 36, and I, male 36, have been divorced for 7 years now. We have twins, both 17 FM. My wife and I are the stereotype of high school sweethearts. I'm more of a geek. She was a cheerleader. My son takes after my wife and my daughter takes after me. When they were younger, I gave them the option of allowance. They could either spend the money on what they wanted to, or I could walk them through investments and savings. My wife was all for this at that time. We explained that they each have a set amount of money that we have put away for future schooling as well as a car fund. At first, both of my kids decided to invest in it, and I started to show them how to and the risk involved. My son put his into a very risky investment against my advice, and ended up losing it and decided not to do it anymore within a few weeks. My daughter started off rough but quickly got the hang of it, playing with different investments and companies. She has been in the positive most weeks. The issue is that due to this, my daughter has saved up more money than her brother. She also likes to spend most of her time over at my house versus my son over at my ex-wife's house. My daughter's interests are more minimalistic when it comes to most things and does not spend a lot of money. She will when she finds things she likes. She is not into fashion, rarely puts on makeup. When she does, it is very light, bought a used but nice car, etc. They just got their acceptance letters for college, and she will be able to pick any of her choices due to grades and her savings plus our contributions. My son, on the other hand, spends most of his money when he gets it. Always has new clothes constantly, bunch of shoes, bought a new, very expensive car with payments, goes out all the time, and spends everything he gets. My son is upset because he can't go to the college he wants because he would need to get a loan, and with what I make, he doesn't qualify for much. My ex says I need to stop favoring my daughter and financially hurting my son and just paying for his college. Among other things. Her and her side of the family are all calling me an AH for not paying. Because you easily could. I told them that they had a choice when he was younger, and he didn't listen. I also pointed out the fact that if he had saved his money, he would have also been able to go where he wanted. He needed to get a job to cover costs if he wanted to go. And life was about choices. TLDR, my daughter is more like me, a geek. My son is like my ex-wife, popular and materialistic. Gave them an allowance and the opportunity to invest and save. Only my daughter did, and now my son and family are mad that I'm not giving him more money and favoring my daughter. Early ETA. I did keep asking him to try again throughout the years. But he didn't care. I gave up almost 2 years ago when he said he wanted to live almost full-time at his mom's house. We had an argument that made me back off. I didn't just stop and drop it when he was really young. Edit 2. We did not give him his college fund. He has enough money in his college fund that he can attend a community college for 4 years or a good college for 2, nothing fancy or big. The money that was invested was an allowance. Or spare money. My daughter would use bidet money, Christmas money, allowance, or any extra chore money. His fund was never used in any way other than for school. It is safe and locked up. Allowance was free to use money. The school and car fund were separate and not accessible by the kids. I'm not bragging, but I could send them to the best colleges for as many years as they want. And fund their lives comfortably. Edit. Question on what I meant by. Among other things. Basically, unlimited schooling, backpacking trips across Asia, paying his car off, lodging near campus, and living money were all brought up. Most by my ex-wife. She has not put anything towards these funds. Now for a few comments before the update. You're the idiot. I doubt this will be a popular opinion, but I think you're an idiot in general. Right now you have a choice of helping your kid get a start on his adult life, and you're using it to make some sort of ideological point instead of helping him. Yes, we can say that the actual child should have made better financial choices. But right now you're going for the win. The kid like you is the winner while the one like your ex gets to work. It is 2023. How much does he need to work to pay for school? And thanks to your income he can't even get financial aid. Make it up to your daughter, but help your son succeed in life by helping him with college. It seems like you can afford it, you just want to be right instead. Comment 2, not the idiot. If your ex literally said you're favoring your daughter, when she had the same choices as the son, and financially hurting your son, who again, had the same choices, then we see who's really got a favorite here. Had the tables been turned, I suspect she wouldn't be as concerned about the daughter who's not as much like her. If mom and her side of the family wants to subsidize her favorite, then they are free to do so. Now for the update. So my original Am I the Idiot was about showing favoritism for my daughter and financially hurting my son. The comments went way far from that topic. It was interesting for me. For the people who sent me aggressive messages, not cool. Some questions to be addressed. 1. Why would I just not pay for everything? I am trying to teach my kids about financial responsibility. Money has value, and nothing is given without work. I bet if my son posted his view, you would call him entitled age. 2. But they were so young when they started gambling with money in the stock market. True. But they have grown up since then. Yes, they are still kids. But maturity does not just develop at 25 like some people on here think. 3. You gave them their college fund to waste. No. College fund has always been secured and untouched unless I was putting money in it. They used allowance money. 3. Why are you not giving him a good start in life? He has a better start than the majority of people. So I talked to my daughter. She said she would be upset if I just gave him the money. She worked hard and values her time and effort. I agreed that would be a bad idea. But we came up with 3 options. I added a 4th, to present him/my ex-wife. All of them had rules attached, and the same amount would be given to my daughter. Rules, grades, housing rules, and behavior 1. He sells his car and some of his shoe collections to save money and put it towards the fund, and I will help him again to make passive income. 2. He picks a lower college that is more cost-effective but still a good school. He gets a job, and I will match his pay. 3. I just gave him the money. But as a loan. 0% interest, but he has to pay back in a timely manner. Money, if paid back, will go back to him in the future. Down payment or wedding or something. 4. Ex and family put in the difference in the account. I laid it all out for him. My ex and him did not like it, so I asked my ex why she is pushing this so much, and why she has not put any money into the account since we originally opened it. There were excuses, and she finally said, I have to save money for my daughter 6, almost 7F. Unless you want to set up a fund for her as well. I am setting things up with my youngest daughter, female 3, the same way I did with my twins. I'm not doing it for her daughter, anyway. I have given him a few weeks to figure out what he wants. He acknowledged that I was right. He was unfair to his sister about the way he went about things and will do better in the future. He picked a modified version of option 2. He is still going to his number 4 pick, is looking for a job, sold some shoes, and said he will be responsible for housing costs. He apologized to me and his sister. I hope he keeps working hard towards his goals. Comment 1. Yeah. It was clear, even from the other posts, that not the idiot. You want your kids to be self-sufficient, and just giving him money without working for it won't teach him anything, otherwise he's going to expect you to bail him out, and it definitely isn't fair for either one of your daughters. Especially your 17 years old, cause she worked really hard. And good for her. Why people didn't see that in the other post. Comment 2. Good job on being a reliable father, and good job to your son on growing up pretty quickly since your last post. Here's to hoping the lesson sticks. Nothing wrong with spending and enjoying your money. You can't take it with you, but frivolity equals destitution if you ain't already rich.